Welcome to Coaches Roundtable. I'm Ed Codi, and welcome our guest from the Pittsburgh Tribune, sports writer Jerry DiPaola. He is the Pitt insider. Anything you want to know about Pitt sports, especially basketball and baseball, you read Jerry in the Trib. Jerry, thanks for joining us.
Good to see you, Ed. How you doing today?
Good. Hey, I want to start off with Pitt basketball. Coming into this season, 6 straight losing seasons. Hadn't had a 20-win season, maybe 8 years in an NCAA tournament. They start off 1-3, and I'm going, here we go again. That seat's really going to get hot for Coach Capel. And now they're 18-7, 11-3 in the ACC, tied for first, should be first, except for those officials screwed up the call at the end of the Virginia game. Jerry, I'm going to ask you. I didn't see this coming. Did you see this season coming?
I didn't see 11-3 coming in. I thought they'd be improved. But when you bring in all these transfers from all these different schools, you know, the top 6 players on this team are all transfer athletes. And 4 of them came in this year. And, you know, these guys were strangers to each other as late as this summer. And then all of a sudden, you know, they get together in late August, all of them. And, you know, Jeff Capel said, you know, the other day on the ACC coaches conference call that he noticed right away that these guys were getting along with each other. They didn't care, you know, who got the credit, who scores the points. They like to share the ball. They like to make that extra pass. That's one of the things I've heard from coaches this year, you know, around the country, is when you're on offense, if you can not settle for a bad shot, make 1 more or 2 more passes to get a guy a better shot, you have a better chance of, you know, getting those 2 or 3 points. And that's what they've been doing, you know, pretty much all season. You know, a lot of the fans are upset because they're not ranked in the AP top 25. They came a little closer this past Monday when they got, I think they're ranked 29th now with some 20 of the 62 voters voted for them. I'm one of the voters. I put them 21.
That's an increase of 11 votes, right?
Pardon me?
That's an increase of about 11 votes.
Yeah, they're doing better. You know, they're getting more recognition, more notoriety. But the thing is that they got to keep winning.
Yeah.
You know, at 18-7 with losses. You know, the loss to Vanderbilt really seems to be a bad loss.
And then I thought West Virginia started to win a little bit, but then they got hammered by Texas 94-60. So that doesn't help Pitt. And the loss to was the other team.
Baylor. They lost to Baylor last night, Monday night.
Well, I mean, Pitt also lost to Virginia Commonwealth.
VCU, yeah. The VCU is the leader in the Atlantic 10 right now.
Okay.
In their first place. But Vanderbilt is the game. Vanderbilt's a team that lost to Alabama 101-44.
Right.
And Pitt lost to Vanderbilt by a point. You know, which is a tough loss. And, you know, it's you can't win them all. But when you're trying to get into the tournament, you know, from a weak ACC, a relatively compared to other seasons, a weak ACC, you got to win as many games as you can. And now they're going down a stretch. As they're talking today, we have 6 games to play. Boston College and Virginia Tech this week. Virginia Tech on the road on Saturday won't be easy. They got to get to 22 or 23. I can't see them getting a NCAA bid if they end up with only 21.
Well, it's still possible. They could win ACC regular season and the ACC tournament. That ought to punch their ticket without any question.
Well, that would, yeah, but that's asking a lot. You know, my point is, if you don't get up to 22 wins, and there's no reason why they shouldn't. They have 6, as we speak today, they have 6 more regular season games left, plus the tournament. So that could be maybe as many as 10 games. So they can win, you know, 4 or 5 of those whatever remaining games they have left, they should be fine.
Hey, Jerry, I have to admit, in years past, especially during when Jamie was there, I knew that Pitt team from top to bottom. This team took time. At the beginning of the season, I mentioned to the guys, I really can't identify. I don't know this team. That all those transfers, now I know them, and the outstanding job by Burton and Henson, and of course, Nellie Cummings. I think he's the leader on this team, and the shooting of Greg Elliott and Federico Sabonde. Now I know them. At the beginning of the year, I didn't have any identification with that team. Am I the only one?
Oh no, I'm sorry. You know, Jeff Capel didn't know them until sometime early in 2022. So, you know, the funny thing, the most impressive thing I think about this team, first of all, whether they're unselfish is very impressive. But they lost 3 scholarship players before the season even started. Well, Hughley played 8 games. John Ugley was supposed to be their best returning player. All honorable mention, all ACC center last year. Probably their best player last season, but he's only played in 8 games. He has that knee injury, and he stepped away from the team this year, to battle some personal concerns in the knee injury. But he hasn't played at all. And Federico, nobody knew him before the season. He was JC transfer from Finland. 6'11". He's had a tremendous season, for a guy who's never played big time college basketball before. Leads the team in blocks, gets some key rebounds, scores every once in a while. Pitt doesn't have the inside presence that they probably would like to have when Ugley was playing well. But they really don't need it. They already won 18 games, without Ugley, and that's what's so impressive. That William Jeffers is a guy that gave him some valuable minutes the last 2 years. He's out for the season. Dior Johnson, everybody was celebrating him coming in as a highly touted freshman before the season, and he hasn't played because of his legal problems. He's getting redshirted this season, but he's done it with these 6 guys, and then Nate Santos coming off the bench, and then the Diaz Graham twins, the freshmen from the Canary Islands, have played very well.
And he has a couple of good recruits coming in for next year. Cummings from Lincoln Park, who's very good.
It's amazing to me that these people, I get these emails from people all the time. Last season, they wanted to fire him. The other day, I got an email from a guy who says, give him a lifelong contract.
Yeah.
It takes a couple of wins.
They lose in the ACC tournament. But
very fickle.
Mentioning Capel, that hot seat has cooled off considerably. Do you agree?
Oh, absolutely. With the recruiting is done, with the way they're winning, wins is what matters. If you can win games, people are going to forget, your past sins. And I think he's a good coach. He's a good man. He's a very mature guy, very adult, very serious, very focused. We've asked him a few times about whether he thinks the team should be ranked in the Associated Press top 25, and he really doesn't say too much about it. He did say one day he thinks they deserve it. That was last week, and he thinks it'd be nice for the kids, but it's not what they're focusing on. They were just focusing on Boston College, which was their next game, which would be Tuesday night, and then every game after that, one at a time. These coaches, Pat Narduzzi is the same way. Let's be 1-0, and let's stack those 1-0 games and see where we are at the end of the season.
Well, it's nice to see coming through 6 straight losing seasons. They haven't won 20. I'm going to guess in 8 years. I can't remember a stretch like that going way, way back a long time ago. So
2016 was the last time they made the tournament with 21 wins. Jamie Dixon's last season.
So it's gratifying to see this turnaround. Now, what are we seeing here in the future? Is he going to have to dip into the transfer portal again? Because many of these players may not be back next year.
I think every year, every coach, every big time coach in football and basketball is going to have to dig into the transfer portal to some extent. It's one thing to bring in a high school kid, who's never played college basketball before and count on him, to lift your team up. But what you want to do is bring in an experienced guy who's been around, who's been to the NCAA tournament, who's played in big games, who's played in these raucous arenas around the country. These freshmen, haven't done that. Sometimes they fold under the pressure. Guy like Jamarius Burton and Blake Hinson, Nellie Cummings, they've been in big games before. Okay, so they really, know what it's like, to have the pressure on you. And I think that's, the way college coaches are going to recruit these days, because with the portal, you can bring a guy in right away. There's no waiting for 1 year. He can play right away and help the team immediately. And that's what's happened with Pitt. Like I said, all these guys, the top 6 players are all transfers, and they all played, pretty much right away as soon as they arrived on campus. So that's just the way of the world today, and a lot of people don't like it. In the old days, the old school guys would say, "Oh, these guys need a year to transition from their other school." No, they don't. Just put them.
It's
put them
different.
in the lineup and let them play ball.
And the coaches who can't abide by it, they're not going to last very long. Jerry, I'm going to finish by saying I was at the Miami game, the first sellout in 4 years. The electricity was back at the Pete. It's just great to see.
Yeah, it is. The Oakland Zoo is going crazy, and it'll be a big crowd for their last 3 regular season games. There's only 3 home games left, I believe, and the Syracuse game on February 25th will be an interesting game after what Jim Boeheim accused the Pitt of buying players.
Yeah. I call him Miserabra.
That's right. He is a miserable person.
Hey, Jerry, always great talking to you. I wanted to cover some stuff about Pitt football. We're going to save that. I'll get back on in a couple months. There's a lot to talk about Pitt football, but thanks for joining us. Keep up your great work in covering Pitt sports.
Anytime, Ed. Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you. I'll be right back with Alan George.
Some companies will tell you they have the best customer service.
No, I'm sorry. That's not a part of our policy. We can't really help you there.
Some companies will tell you they have the best technical support.
Yeah, let me just put you on with somebody from technical support right now. Please hold. Technical support, how can I help you?
And some companies will tell you that your call is very important. Only Armstrong provides you with the customer service you deserve.
How do you choose the smart home and security system that's right for your family? The answer is Guardian Protection, a fully integrated system so that all your smart home and security devices work together, like smart locks, smart lights, doorbell cameras, video cameras, and more. And with advanced artificial intelligence technology, Guardian Protection creates a smarter, safer home for you, all controlled from one single app. The right choice for your family.
I am back, joined to my right by the Swami, George Abraham, to my left, the Tiger, Albert Campman. Here we go. Spotlight, last week, regular season basketball. Last week, how fast it's gone. Boys, Tasso Stefanos of Mars, 35-24. Luke Lawson of Seneca Valley, 28. Max Hurry of North Catholic, 25-23. They have come on strong. Ellen Grimes, Summit Academy, 23. Braylon Littlejohn of Butler, 21-22. Donovan Carney of Butler, 21. Emery Moy of Pine Ridge, 21, in a 76-72 upset of Butler, and that knocked Butler out of having a home first-round playoff game. Andrew Madelon, North Catholic, 21, in a 66-45 rout over Central Catholic. Jonathan Anderson of Newcastle, 20. Andrew Lemondola of Pine Ridge, 20. Josh Book of Slippery Rock High School, 20. And Max Rotman of North Catholic, 20. For the girls, Madeline Zabaski, Pine Ridge, 24. Ava Walker, North Catholic, 23. Jasmine Timmerman of North Allegheny, she's a Pitt recruit. She had 22. And Elena Rocco of Newcastle, 20. In rifle,
I think the Timmerman girl's dad was a really good player for Robert Morris.
Was he?
Yeah.
Okay. And in rifle, Butler won the WPL championship, the fourth in school history. Congratulations to Coach Eric Beveridge and the team. Next up, you have states and the individuals. And in swimming, the Slippery Rock High School girls, they placed second at the region championship. Grace Olshansky, she set meet records in the 50 and 100-yard freestyle. Molly Masella, she set meet records in the 200 freestyle and 100 butterfly. And Catherine Burns, she set a meet record in 100 breaststroke. And the medley relay team, they set a new meet record. I don't know how they finished second with all of that.
Yeah, you know how that sport is. Somebody get 4 or 5 events on that other side and get first.
I think Titusville won it.
There you go.
All right, here we go. Our power rankings. Boys' final regular season rankings in 6A. It's Newcastle, followed by Upper St. Clair, Mount Lebanon, Central Catholic, and Butler. And in 5A, Peters Township, Penn Hills, North Hills, Gateway, and Moon. And Mars, they lost their last regular season section game, so that may send them on the road too. Every
Butler
game
was
counts.
at 8-7, so
Yeah.
you have to figure if you lose, you're probably going to be 7-8 or 8-9. That's what
Looks
it was,
like
8-9.
they could be headed to where? Mount Lebanon?
Probably.
Possibly.
Yeah. Who, Butler?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's done.
Yeah,
He
it's
did
done.
And Newcastle gets the winner.
All right, is that right?
Yeah.
Boy, that would be
1-8,
interesting.
1-8-9.
We could be ready for that one.
I'd like to see that.
Hey, in 4A, Lincoln Park, followed by Hampton, Laurel Highlands, Uniontown, South Allegheny, and surging North Catholic. In 3A, Mohawk, Neshannock, Still Valley, Shadyside Academy, and Deer Lakes. In 2A, Fort Cherry, Karn City, Aliquippa, Bishop Canavan, and Eden Christian. And in 1A, Imani Christian, Union and Newcastle, Neighborhood Academy, Carlinton, and Guyville Catholic. For the girls,
Wait a minute, sorry, I don't
Yeah.
say that. I know the WPL doesn't care.
yeah,
Mohawk, 20-2.
yeah.
Number 1 in the posting set for 6 straight
And
weeks.
they're going on the road.
They made them a 4 seed. I have no idea
Who are the 3? Say
Yeah.
The Shannick is,
Yeah, okay.
is a number 2, but Mohawk beat by 21
they
points.
split.
Yeah, they split.
Okay.
Yeah. No, and Mohawk lost 5 games and they lost 2. They beat Blackhawk and they beat Hickory. They beat some bigger teams.
Who are the
I
other
have
two?
no
And they're
idea.
20
Steel
and
Valley.
2. They're a 20 wins
Yes.
team.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
lost again last night. So
Yeah,
that's
well, that,
three.
yeah, that's
Three.
yeah, but they were
Okay.
they were 19. Yeah, but they were 19.
Who
Okay.
are the other two? Is my question.
Other two. Still Shady Side
Okay.
and
Still
Steel Valley.
Still
and-
Valley's good. No.
Yeah.
Still
But
Valley's
but
been
Moss
on
was
the
number
road.
one all year.
Right, right.
No,
I get it.
They lost the last game of the
Right.
year to Neshannock, and they moved from number 1
To
to
number
'cause
4.
I'll tell you why. They don't care. The Democrat
Yeah.
does not study it. They just somebody in the committee
They do
said.
better than most, though. I think you didn't play in District 10.
Somebody on the committee says, "Hey, we got a friend here. They should be on. They should be." That's what it
That's what
works.
happens.
I know.
And once again, for the girls at USC, North Allegheny, Norman, and Mount Lebanon, I did not rank a 15 because the rest of them, they're just scrambling. The rest of them, you might as well forget about them.
No, I just
Unless there
hear
be
them
some
all, and I
upsets.
think that 5A boys is a monster.
Yeah. 5A girls, South Fayette, Oakland Catholic, Armstrong, McKeesport, and Trinity. And 4A, it's Blackhawk, North Catholic, Elizabeth Ford, Quaker Valley, and Knock. In 3A, Shady Side Academy, Laurel, Neshannock, Avonworth, and Olsh. And in 2A, it's Sarah, Shenango, Greensburg Central Catholic, Freedom, and Montauk. And in 1A, Union and Newcastle, followed by Menneson, St. Joseph, Bishop Canevin, and Aquinas Academy.
You
And
got
we're
him right.
ready to
You
go.
got him, Eddie. You
Playoffs.
got
That's
him.
good, yeah.
Hey, let's go to our stories of the week. Hell to the Chiefs. Super Bowl 57 may go down as one of the best ever. What a game it was. Kansas City 38, Philadelphia 35. Chiefs win their third Lombardi, 2 out of the last 4 years, and trailing 24-14 at the half, the second biggest comeback next to New England coming back against Atlanta.
23.
I didn't think it was going to happen. It looked like Mahomes was hurt. He limped off. They put up 24 second half points to win the game. Andy Reid, his second Lombardi. If there was any doubt about him going to Canton,
Oh.
that's been crushed. He's going to go there. And Mahomes, second Super Bowl MVP, along with his league MVP this year. Guys, one of the best Super Bowls of all time.
Yeah, it was exciting Super Bowl. That's what it was, and I'm glad you brought up Mahomes. He has now went up the ladder big time with me.
Yeah.
Before I was holding like here with him, but now I cannot. I have him up there with Elway.
You put
And,
him past Josh Allen.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know, to me, I see similarities. Correct me if I'm wrong. I see similarities between him more so with Montana,
No
how
doubt.
they maneuver.
No
I thought
doubt.
Right?
Steve
They
Young,
look-
I thought Redding were. I
Well,
would
yeah,
pick
Montana,
Steve
but
Young.
I'm talking his maneuverability
Yeah.
and the way he throws the
Yeah,
ball.
you get two
It
of them.
looks
Yeah.
like Montana.
Yeah, he's got
Yes.
two.
Soft
He's got
touch.
two
can
other
throw
ones
long.
there. Yeah,
Yeah.
and he's young. He's 24, 25.
Yeah.
And they gave away the
Youngest
cheetah.
ever to win,
Everybody,
too.
you know, Al said that the other day. When they gave away the cheetah, everybody picked San Diego, Denver, and Oakland, or Las Vegas.
Hey, Reed becomes the 13th coach to win 2 Super Bowls. I
Yeah.
believe all of them are in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
And let me say, Jalen Hurts was terrific. One mistake, he just dropped the ball.
Yeah.
It just
They didn't
happened.
But
And
that was the game, though. If you
yeah,
ask,
that's-
if you ask, how could this game be like this?
Yeah.
That's all it's
Should have
on.
been 24/7.
That one play
24/7.
changed the whole
Yeah,
game around.
Now, I know a lot of people making a lot of noise about the call on the holding on Juju. Up to that, I thought it was a great officiated game, one of the best. There was a little grabbing by both players. They could have let it go. They could have called it by the letter of the law. The defensive back grabbed his hip, shirt, whatever it was, and they made the call.
I was telling him, I talked to Gene. He said something interesting. If they let that go early, they should have let it go. That's what people were complaining
Who'd you
about.
talk to?
Gene's territory.
Oh,
That he said, in other words, your job is to be the same the whole way through. And that's what people were upset about because they thought there were other grabs that they let go. Now you come to the biggest play of the game. I'm not saying it should or shouldn't, but it should be the same.
And we didn't see enough TV graphics to know that. Like I never saw it during the game. Oh, let's watch this receiver and
Yeah.
they held him here. I never saw it once.
I thought he gave him.
grabbed him. No,
He
he
grabbed
did.
him
No,
right as he
he
come
said
off
he
the
grabbed-
line of
he said he
scrimmage.
grabbed him.
Okay. Hey, by the way, Andy Reid now 4-0 against a team that once fed him, bite the hand that once fed him. He's
Okay.
4-0 against the Eagles. And guys, what was going on with the turf? All the players
Oh, they were
slipping and
complaining.
sliding. What was?
They put new sod down and they thought it was all, but it wasn't. The players are, when every player's complaining about it, usually it's a losing team that complains.
Yeah.
The winning team was complaining about it too, so it was
Wrong
bad.
shoes too, I think.
Hey,
They take that track outside to grow it. the grass there.
Yeah, right. Hey, let me say this: the Chiefs, 2 of their red zone touchdown passes to Kadarius Toney and Sky Moore, nobody around them. Yeah, Andy Reid was ready for.
Hey,
for,
that's
for
how I love
Philly's
where they
defense.
spread it toward the thing, and the guy ran with him, and he just. It was
that,
too
that,
easy.
that play works against man.
Yeah.
And Philadelphia Kansas City did a great job.
They were
of
so worried
scouting
about
them,
Kelsey.
of scouting him against man. See, a lot of teams play zone down there.
Yeah.
Philadelphia doesn't. Great.
Well, I
planning.
think they're looking at Kelsey. They're looking at Juju. No one was looking at Tony, and no one was looking at.
You can't be open like that.
Yeah,
wide open.
The motion reback.
And how
Just
about Sky's punt return?
Well,
Down there.
hey, 2 weeks in a row they had returns and probably won the game for them.
And Sky from New Kensington. We played.
No, that
at
was
Shadyside
Tony.
Academy.
Tony had the big punt return.
I thought it was Sky.
No, it was Tony.
Sky Moore last week.
Yeah.
Sky Moore last week.
Yes,
Okay,
Tony.
okay, that was
You were-
Tony.
yeah, that's right.
Yes.
Yeah,
And
that's
two
right, yeah.
two guys once again you never hear much about, and once again he finds those players. And you were all spot on with Pacheco. He had
Yeah.
if that safety doesn't make that open field tackle, he has a 60-yard.
I thought he should have been MVP.
Do you?
Well, they always just give it to the quarterback. It's so hard to win if you're not the quarterback.
Hey, I'm not a betting man, but I was 3-0. I had the Chiefs winning by 4. I had Mahomes MVP, and I picked the over.
It's always what happens. As soon as you bet, you lose.
Right.
How much did I make that check out for?
Yeah.
No, it's the way it
Hey,
is. But those were like Al says. Obviously, people win. When it's over, people win.
Yeah. Hey, Hurts's passing was terrific. Got to mention that.
Great.
To Smith and
How about his
Goddard.
running?
And A.J. Brown, that pass to A.J. Brown was
Hey,
perfect.
I must have missed it. I thought he caught it. Am I wrong, huh?
No, he didn't catch it.
He didn't get
No.
it. I
Who?
thought he caught it.
Smith on the sideline.
The one
Oh,
they
yeah,
pulled back.
right.
Did it hit something?
Hit the ground.
Yeah, it
Hit
hit
the
the ground.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this. Percentage chance of the Eagles remaining the dominant NFC team?
Not a high percentage. Not high. No.
What do you give it?
And it's football. Every year.
No,
I'll
what
say
is it
50%.
what is it with
40%?
teams when they lose a
No,
Super Bowl? It's so hard to
they
get
don't
back.
come back.
I
They
don't
don't
know.
come back. No,
I'd
it's-
say 30. Is that too high?
yeah.
I was going to say 40.
Okay, we're about in the ball.
And percentage chance, Mahomes wins 2 more Super Bowls.
Man, that's tough. I'd say no.
I'm going to
I'll
say
say
I'm
no.
giving 50%.
Okay, I'll say about 30.
Well, it's time for Buffalo to
I'll say-
do it or shut up.
I'll say 30.
Right? We agree
That
on
window that was going to close. Now ask me or tell me if I'm wrong. When I looked at this game, I'm thinking about the Steelers, and I'm looking at those two teams, and I'm going, they're light years apart.
Every
So
team in the
far
NFL
apart.
is. There's
Yeah.
those two teams are better than everybody else.
But I mean,
that's-
predominantly on offense. So when the Steelers put all that money on defense, you look at the game today, you better be pouring some money into that offense.
yes, it's quarterback driven.
No.
It's a quarterback driven. Like Andy Reid has Mahomes, Belichick had Brady, and Walsh had Montana. There's a chance you might win some games.
Yeah. Okay, hey, after
Oh, it
8
proves it. Andy Reid couldn't manage the clock in Philly.
They want him out. They ran
Yeah,
him out.
oh, he can't. How's he doing now?
Hey, and the Philly fans, how'd they react after the game? They were rioting. They had to bring out the police and their shields
Pitiful.
and throwing stuff at cars.
Wonder why that did anything good.
That's like booing Dak Prescott when he got that Walter Payton Man of the Year. Why?
so disgusting.
Yeah, well,
Hey,
So
yeah,
stupid.
Yeah,
right.
well,
After
what do you-
8 months, the NFL football season concludes, but not to fret. The USFL starts in April.
Wow.
8 months of NFL football we have.
Well, what'll happen? Obviously, it's no challenge to the league, but a guy or two will get a job out of it in the fall.
Well, the punt return
Right.
with Dallas.
Right.
Yes, he
Absolutely.
did. Uh-huh.
I saw The Rock last night. He's getting them ready. You know, the thing about that league is there are enough players around that you can have. There aren't enough great players around, but
Right.
there are players. Like Pittsburgh's 44th and 45th guy. He could be there.
No question.
Sure. Hey, elsewhere in the NFL, Darrell Revis, an NFL Hall of Fame. He becomes the 10th Pitt player. That's 5th among schools all time. He's the 3rd Aliquippa High School player to the Hall of Fame, joining Ditka and Ty Law. That's most of any high school in the country.
Wow. Hey, let me give you a real quick story. I'm doing a game on TV. It's right when you get out of high school. Al says to me, he says, who was the best player in the game? There were some good players.
Yeah.
Kid from Deontay Christmas, a guy from Temple. Al said, who's the best player? I said, Revis. Al said, no. I said, no, Revis. He was in the first game, and you could tell he was better than those guys in the second game.
You know what he's talking about now? Basketball. Not
Basketball.
football.
Basketball, right.
Yeah, not football.
That's now a total of 13 WPIAL and City League players into the Hall of
That is
Fame.
so tremendous.
Yeah, isn't it?
And also,
Western
you know,
Pennsylvania.
I want to make them hear this, which is we walked around the Pitt halls and we said, "Wow, they have an all-time team that's tremendous." You just said fifth.
Yeah.
Of all the teams in college football,
Yeah.
Pitt is fifth in Hall of
And
Fame.
I'd put, you
That's
start
something.
grabbing Dorset, Marino, Shady, and I'll put them up against anybody.
Yes.
Fitzgerald, no, the line speaks
Johnny
for itself.
Unitas.
Jeez.
You get down the line. Joe Schmidt. I mean, come on.
Johnny
Hey.
Unitas played at Louisville.
Dicka.
No, Johnny Unitas from Pittsburgh. He played at Catholic high school. Johnny Unitas is from Pittsburgh.
Oh, you're talking about we're talking. Yeah, he's from
Hall
Pittsburgh.
of Fame.
We were talking about Pitt. We were talking
Oh,
about Pitt. We were
Pitt.
talking about
I'm talking about.
Oh, no,
I'm
he's
talking
from
about the
Pittsburgh.
13 players.
I
from
got you,
WPL.
yes. We
And I
changed-
would
and the
challenge
City
that
League.
two guys from the same high school thing.
We
too.
changed that subject.
What?
I would challenge that thing from the two high schools.
Who's that?
There's somebody in that Pro Hall of Fame from the same high school, more than one.
No, they said that
I don't know.
Aliquippa has 3. That's more
Okay.
than any other high school in the country.
I'd have to see that. Those teams like Crenshaw, they get 2 and 3 on one. Wow.
I don't know. You check
I
it.
will. I will. No, I
All
will.
right. All right. Hey, by the way, here's a trivia question. Name the 2 colleges that had 2 Heisman Trophy winners who are also in the NFL Hall of Fame. The only 2 colleges. Name the colleges and the players.
Dorset.
No.
My guess would be Southern Cal.
Southern Cal's one. Yes.
O.J.
Simpson and Marcus Allen.
Oh, he did.
Yes.
He had that big Marcus Allen.
And the other one is
I don't know. I just thought
Notre Dame.
Notre Dame.
Paul
okay.
Hornung and Tim Brown.
I knew you worked Notre Dame in there. I should have
No,
guessed.
I'm not going to work it in. I'm not working it in.
Paul Hornung-
It's a fact.
Hornung's an amazing story though. That
Yeah.
was a losing record team, wasn't
Yeah.
it?
Yeah, 2 and
That's
8.
how good he was.
You know, he beat out
That's how
Johnny
good he was.
Major.
Johnny
said-
Major, they're still
Yeah.
complaining about
That's
that.
how good he
down
was.
south.
Wow.
Yeah, that's just in USC and Notre Dame. I think they're tied for
I
the
was
most
happy. I got
Hall of
one
Fame
of them. I got
players.
USC, but I didn't get
Yeah.
Notre Dame.
Hey, I just want to mention this in closing. Joe Starkey column, and I was listening to this. Max Starks, not the only one, other Steelers saying when they lost the Super Bowl in 2013 to Green Bay, they thought the game plan was too much focused on Big Ben, ignored the running game, which was the Steelers' strength then, and the Packers' weakness. The Steelers rushed for
I love
126 yards.
I love him, Coach.
And-
I love
and-
him. Max
and-
Starks. You think I'm supposed to listen to Max
Okay,
Starks?
Well, I'm just saying.
Joe Starkey.
And
like
Mike,
you know,
Mike
okay,
Florio,
Joe.
the NFL, says he's heard this from a number of Steeler players. The only thing I'm going to say about that game plan, Rashard Mendenhall to this day gets butchered for his fumble, but little or no criticism of Ben, who threw 2 interceptions and a pick 6.
Yes, I know.
How come Mendenhall still to this day gets all the blame? Yeah. Hey, in college basketball, by the way, Pitt's win over
Yeah.
Florida State. They're 18-7, 11-3, tied for first. They should be in first. That
Absolutely.
controversial call that gave Virginia the win over Duke when
He was
the
fouled.
Duke player
Yeah.
slammed it. Then he said time ran out. He can't shoot fouls. But even high school, any officials
Well, they
know that.
apologize, but what good's that do the kid?
Too late now. You can't change it.
No, you're
And
right.
Northwestern knocks off number 1 Purdue.
There's no number ones. That's the
Yeah,
problem.
Northwestern. This is not such a
They're
big
in.
upset.
They're
They're
in.
18-7,
No, they're
9-5.
They're in.
Is Chris
Absolutely.
Collins the coach of the year?
He's one of them.
Big Ten. Hey, that's it.
Cable's right there too.
Yeah,
Yes.
Yeah.
Hey, that's it for us. We run out of time. We'll see you next week.
Armstrong has a long history of fighting food insecurity in our communities through Breaking Bread events. Here's how you can help. Armstrong is celebrating Breaking Bread Day on Wednesday, March 8th. Visit your local Armstrong store to be part of the celebration. Drop off a non-perishable food donation and receive a special gift. Scan the QR code to find out more information. Visit ArmstrongOneWire.com/breakingbread to find a list of community feeding programs in your area.